Good morning. Welcome to this week's episode of Instant Replay. Dave Garner's not going to be joining us together in studio today or via the video call as normal. He has a prior commitment with a chamber golf tournament that he plays every year. So, Dave, we're going to miss you today. I believe we're episode 44, if I remember Dave saying last week. So we're getting close to that 1 year. And always remember, you can catch us live on Facebook every Monday. And you can go to FYNTV.com and catch us on demand Tuesday through Thursday. And you can always reach out to us at our social media pages. You've got Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Team FYN Sports. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYNTV Fetch Your News. We have interviews with coaches, players, and things like that throughout the season. And we'd love for you to be able to go on there and watch those. Also, you can email us at teamfynsports@fetchyournews.com. or text us or call us at 706-889-9700. That's the best way. If we're not highlighting one of your athletes or someone in your family or friends and you want to bring something interesting to the table for that, please call us or email us so we can get them on the show for you. We got an action-packed show today, and we're going to start off first thing straight from Good Morning from the Office. We have BKP on the other side of the glass with us this morning to talk a little Fannin Baseball. Brian, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Luther. I appreciate you giving me a minute of time. I want to talk about Fannin High School baseball. First of all, I want to go back a week. To the Prep Baseball Report. That's the Prep Baseball Report is where we're getting this. And in Prep Baseball Report, Chandler Kendall, Fannin Rebel Senior, made the Player of the Week there. He won Prep Baseball Report's Player of the Week. We've got a little video, and then we're going to tell you what happened there. So go ahead and play this for the fans out there. All right, this is a game against Calhoun, Luther, and I just wanted to show the Rebels a little bit of power the Rebels team is bringing this year. Out of 21 outs recorded, 17 strikeouts, and 105 pitches. So I want to give that guy a big, that's Chandler Kendall. Now, a couple things Friday night. Started region play, all right? Let's leave him up there just a second. We started region play this past week. Tuesday, Fannin traveled over to Lumpkin, and they got a win there. Then Friday night was a doubleheader. As you know, Luther, they play three in a row. They play a 3 in a row matchup there in region play. So right out of the box, I'll tell you, Fannin ends up 3 straight wins to open the 3A Region 7 baseball season. But this guy right here, you get bottom of the first. Now Lumpkin's got 1 run on, but in the bottom of the first, Chandler Kendall comes up to bat. 2 runners on first. I forget if first and third or second and third they moved over. And this guy hits a home run, cleans the bases, gets a 3-run home run. I want to highlight they went on to win 8-1 against Lumpkin. All right, went on to win 8-1 against Lumpkin. Tucker Kirk was the pitcher for Lumpkin, and they ended up having Eli Wingo come in, all right, number 8, and also Jacob Martin came in, number 23. So Fannin wins 8-1. I don't know if I have a picture of Carson Beavers, okay? If I do, put it up. If I don't, that's good. Here's Carson Beavers. Luther, this kid threw a complete game. This young man threw a complete game, 8-1, 116 pitches.
Wow.
Now, let me just say this. The rule is 112. That's my understanding. Rule is 112, but they will not stop you in the middle of a batter.
Correct.
Okay? So I'm up in the booth because, you know, I call the games for Fan, and I'm up in the booth, and we're at 112, and we're like, come on, this is if he misses this batter and he walks him or whatever, he's got to come out. So he did get a complete game. Good for him. I want to give. They went on to win the second game, Luther, 10-4. All right, they went on to win the second one, 10-4. And the pitcher there, do you have Matthew Shira? Matthew went 6 innings. Now, this is Matthew. Matthew Shira, many people might know. This guy's the brother, he's a junior, of Will Shira that's down at Georgia Tech, the left-hander. Matthew, I watched Will play. In fact, I was so tired in the second game that when he came to bat, I called him Will Shira, and everybody corrected me. But Matthew's a junior, has an outstanding pitch as a right-hander, great pitch. But to me, Will, you cannot take anything away from that arm, that left-handed arm. But as far as defensive player and a batter, I think Matthew could excel over Will in those two things. Right. He pitched 6 innings. And then they had to bring in 2 people to close out the 7th, but they did get the win 10-4. Right. So they got 2 wins. Tuesday night they're going over, Luther, to Dawson. They're going over to Dawson Tuesday night, and then the doubleheader back at Fannin Friday night. So another thing about this team right now, just giving you some highlight. Miles Johnson is not in the lineup. Miles had a minor injury that the doctor had not released him yet this year to play baseball. He is getting released this week. So Fannin looks very good, and I want to highlight a couple players if I can, and I think I have a picture of Gabe Buchanan. I want to highlight Gabe for a reason. Last year, I've been watching this kid. He's the third baseman, and in Luther, in high school, that's a hot bag, okay? All right? That is the hot corner. It's called the hot corner for a reason. I mean, you can get a wake-up call there real quick on third. This kid sucks it up. I mean, last year, obviously, he was a little younger, and, you know, maybe a couple plays, he fumbled the ball a little. This kid is now just really sucking up third base like it belongs to him. And what's the other thing is you find at this age, you start finding the guys that could throw it across the real estate, because you got to go corner to corner, you got to go across the real estate. All right. This guy's doing it, but what I want to highlight is last year he comes up to the box, he's left-handed, all right? And his swing last year kindly poked the ball to left field. He's a left-hander, and I kept saying all last year, because I'm up in the booth, I'm saying, I want to see this kid rip the ball. I want to see him, you know, the way he would swing is he poked it. His hit, when he hits the ball at tails, it's beautiful. Okay, hit some screaming line drives. But I said, I want to see him rip it. His batting has come along to the point to where when this kid steps in the box, he could poke it to the left field, but he can rip the baseball this year. That's another exciting thing. With Miles out, just a highlight note on Fannin, with Miles out, Miles led the team last year in batting average. He was the only one that bat over 400. Okay, he ended the year batting over 400. That's a big bat out of the lineup. So the Rebels are doing very well pitching. They're doing very well in defense. They had a couple errors that can beat them in the tight game. They did have some errors. They left some runners stranded. If you're going to highlight a team, you got to tell it how it is. They were ripping the cover off the ball and doing a really good job and putting the stick on the ball, but Lumpkin was bringing 58, 63, 72, 74. I don't know if they got 76. So Fannin didn't see 80 and above. If they did, it was 1 or 2 times. So Fannin didn't see 80 and above. So when they go to Dawson or somewhere else. But that being said, and I want to talk about some big league plays if I can get another minute.
Of course.
Give me Hunter Gray, okay? Here's Hunter. This is not of that game, but here's Hunter on first base. This guy made about two that were big league plays. I mean, big league. One, it hit the bag. It was a screamer. Hit the bag. It jumped up over his head like it was going into right field. He gets back there. Remember, yeah, he gets back there. He gets it in time. Now I've got to give the pitcher, Carson Beavers. You have him? Yeah. Here's Carson. He gets back there, gets it, and I mean he snaps it off to Carson, which Carson plays heads up. He's over on the bag. Big league play. The next one where Carson Hunter grabbed one like between first and second, and Carson went to the bag, and he had no time to pull it out of his glove, and he did the glove flip. It was sweet. It was like it was supposed to be. And then Hunter, all right, if you're watching, Hunter's first game, he did not end up on first base due to his batting. But he let them know in the second game he was going to rip the baseball, and he got him a nice rip the other night. But Rebels, what I'm seeing here, oh no, who was playing? Hold on, I got to do this. Let me see. Not only, let's see, in the second game, if I'm going to yell big league play, I forget what inning. Carson Beavers, right? Let's put him back up. This guy's playing, no, wait a minute. I think it was Blake Rogers. I'm sorry, Blake Rogers. Blake Rogers is playing right field. If I get this wrong, they're going to text me. He's playing right field. He goes under the lights deep, Luther. And he goes under the lights deep. The guy's on second, and he makes the catch. And he rockets. He throws a rocket strike to third. And when he gets it to third, that boy is out. I mean, it was big league. He drifts back almost on the wall, pulls that thing out of the lights, and he throws a rocket to third. He gets the guy out at third. I had to show that. There was a lot of action. And I'll tell you what, Indians, I don't want to bypass them. They got a lot of great players there. I mean, Stevens and Pierce, especially Grizzle, they got a lot of athletes. Torres, Chastain, Schoflet, a lot of athletes on that team. They're not a bad ball team. They're a good ball team. So,
well, Brian, I'll tell you, I want to interrupt you real quick. Some highlights on Fannin that I've researched. In the 3 games over the Indians, they outscored them 25-7. And on the season, they're outscoring their opponents 91-48 over the 12 games, going 10-2, and they're allowing just 4 runs per game average.
Well, if we take a minute and look at it, seniors. I've been in the booth, and for those of you that don't know, on Friday nights I announced the ball games from the booth. I sit up there, I watch these kids. I really enjoy it, and I thank the Fannin Rebels for giving me that opportunity to do that. And in the last several years, this is the team, because this team is starting more seniors. A couple years ago, I think 2 years ago, they graduated 4 seniors, and then last year they graduated 2. This is the team that's fielding more seniors. Number one, the bats are hot. This team has some batters, and let me say this: there's people that are stepping up, like Seth Reese. There's people that's Bryson Pack. He is stepping up. Jared Holloway. I mean, Tyler Norton had some good rips. I mean, so I don't want to leave anybody out. I mean, their lineup was stepping up and hitting the ball. They just flat were hitting the ball. Oh, let me give my shout out, Luther. He deserves it. Fannin has their catcher was out, and I forget all the details. So let me make sure I have this right. But they had to go to Seth Reese, and I want to give him a shout out. He's a freshman, and he got behind the plate for a doubleheader. He did an outstanding job. So Seth Reese, outstanding job for stepping back there as a freshman. But you're right, Luther. And once they get Miles Johnson in rotation, and maybe in that 4 spot, whatever coach does to drive those runs in, 4 or 5. Fannin Rebels are a team to watch this year. I want to thank you, Luther. I got to get out. I appreciate you so much. And for sure you got more to say and a great show lined up. So I'm out, Luther.
Well, thank you for being with us, Brian, and great insight on Fannin Rebel baseball. Guys, that's going to carry us to a first break. After the break, we'll come up with some soccer around the area in our coverage area. And rumor has it that R.J. Casey, our reporter out of Pickens in Jasper, Georgia, for Pickens High School Dragons, should be joining us by phone as well. So we've got an action-packed show today. Make sure you come back. Can't wait to see you.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN 10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Good morning. Welcome back to segment 2 of Instant Replay. Once again, I want to thank BKP from Good Morning from the office this morning, stepping in and spending a little extra time with us to talk baseball. And I'll tell you, Brian Pritchard, BKP, ever how you know him, knows Fannin Rebel baseball and loves it. I'm really shocked this morning that he wasn't in studio with me and chose to stay on the other side of the glass. But, he had a meeting, so, he's got to make those meetings. And if he was in here, I promise you he would have his Fannin jersey on. And I believe that was Cody Gray's jersey that he wears all the time, which is the older brother of Hunter Gray that we highlighted pretty much there in the first segment. Let's get straight to it. Waiting on RJ Casey to give us a call in, probably for our third segment. But I'm going to go ahead and touch base real quick on just a little bit of soccer news in our area. Let me get that pulled up. Oh, wonderful Monday morning computers. They don't like them either. So great weekend. We had a beautiful weekend for it was the third weekend in 2019 that we did not see any rain. So Mother Nature, you did a good job. Good Lord above, we definitely thank you for that. Look forward to a great, beautiful week as well. So we shouldn't have any issues as far as getting things in. So we're going to run through some soccer real quick. Let's start on the girls' side. In our coverage area, just some highlights. We have Pickens. Will be at Southeast on Tuesday. The JV will be at Dawson on Wednesday, 5 p.m. And then we've got, I almost lost where I was at, I'm sorry. We got the varsity at Lafayette on Friday starting at 5:30 for the girls from Pickens. White County girls are 7-2 on the season. If you'll remember, if you watched last week, you heard us talk about it, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and update you real quick on that. The White County Lady Warriors were coming in at 7-0, facing probably their biggest test in region all year in Marist and Blessed Trinity. Of course, both games were on the road, and Blessed Trinity and Marist, sorry about that, both got wins. Marist defeated the Lady Warriors 5-1, and Blessed Trinity defeated the Lady Warriors 2-0. So right now we're looking at 7-2, and with 2 losses in the region for the Lady Warriors. This week, 3/19, which will be tomorrow, Tuesday. Of course, you're watching this live on Monday, the 18th. They will be at home versus Madison County, and then Friday at home versus Flowery Branch, which will be another really tough matchup for the Lady Warriors and continuing such a good season. Lunkin Lady Indians sitting at 8-2, having another great year for them as well. Defeated the Lady Rebels 10-0 last week, and the Lady Trojans 7-0. Trojans are, of course, from North Hall. Lady Rebels from Fannin. This week on Tuesday, have GAC at GAC, and then Friday they're at Cherokee Bluff, which is a new school in the Hall County area. Gilmer, 2-1-1. Battled hard at Coahulla Creek last week, finished to a 2-2 draw. And this week they're at Heritage on 3/19, which is on Tuesday. Dawson Lady Tigers defeated Pinecrest Academy 2-0 last week and tied Eastside at 1 apiece. This week they will be at North Hall. Come on, cooperate here with me, Mr. Computer. And, of course, Union Lady Panthers 4-1. They're 3-0 in region, which is what really counts. Defeated Putnam County 3-0. And this week they will travel to Oglethorpe on Friday. Let's jump to boys real quick. Boys soccer. Here we are again, having another great season for high school soccer. Pickens Dragons boys improved to 9-2 on the season with a 10-0 win over the Towns County Indians. And we have a record that has been broken in Pickens County. Juan Sanchez set the single season scoring record for Pickens High School history. And in a defeat of 4-0 over Heritage. This week, they will travel to Southeast Whitfield on Tuesday and travel to Lafayette on Friday, the 22nd. The Gilmer boys fell to Coahulla Creek 10-1 in a tough loss against a really good team. This week, they have games at Heritage on Tuesday and Ridgeland on Friday, the 22nd. Dawson County Tigers boys soccer is having a rough start at it. They're 0-7 on the year, but plenty of time left to get that turned around, and still making a great season. Lost 2 games last week. Union County defeated the Tigers 1-0, and Eastside defeated the Tigers 6-1. This week on Tuesday the 19th. Sorry about that. My collar is itching me. 3/19, which will be Tuesday, they will be at Cherokee Bluff. And on Friday, they will be at home versus North Hall. The Union Panthers boys are 3-4 on the season. Defeated Dawson 1-0 and fell to Putnam County 3-1 last week. And this week, be at home against Elbert County on Tuesday and at Oglethorpe on Friday. So good luck to those boys being able to play and getting a good win against a couple good teams. White County, 4-6, fell to Marist last week, same as the girls. Lost 7-2 in that one, and fought Blessed Trinity to a 1-0 loss on that. This week, same as the Lady Warriors, they will be at home versus Madison on Tuesday, and at home versus Flowery Branch on Friday, both with 7:30 start times on those. We're going to go ahead and wind it out for our second break and get everything set up for R.J. Casey from the Pickens Dragons reporter to give us a call, and we're going to talk all things Dragons.
We're all about truck discounts at Days Chevrolet in Jasper. Now save up to $14,000 off new Silverados or up to $8,000 off new Chevy Colorados. The new truck inventory is huge, but the discounts are even bigger with thousands in savings guaranteed. So when you think trucks, think Days Chevrolet in Jasper, the North Georgia Mountains #1 volume Chevy dealer, where new Chevy trucks cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
At Ingalls, we have a very special family. A family of farmers, ranchers, and dairymen. Clerks, butchers, and bakers. Deli workers, pharmacists, and florists. We work hard every day to bring you the very best. And we'll continue to wake up every morning and work as hard as you do. This is our town, and we built this community together. Ingalls, your neighbor for over 50 years.
Welcome back to segment number 3 of the Instant Replay, North Georgia's only online hour of sports updates. Instant Replay. We're letting you know what happened in the past and next week's schedule to try. If you want to go out and catch one of these games of any school, soccer, baseball, tennis, golf, track and field, we have all kinds of sports going on as part of the spring season here. And as promised, we have R.J. Casey live on the hotline with us. R.J., how you doing today?
I'm doing good, Luther. How about yourself?
Doing great. Appreciate you calling in with us. As when I talked to you the other day and mentioned about you, give us a call, we want to talk all things Pickens. You are the Pickens sports reporter. You're all over it, as Team FYN Sports is. Give us some updates. Talk about whatever you want to talk about the sports. You're there. You see a whole lot more than we actually can update and cover. So talk to us and let us know a few things that you think our viewers would like to know about it.
Well, I know you covered soccer a little bit. You mentioned Juan Sanchez with the regular or the season scoring record. Juan's only a freshman.
Wow.
And he's a freshman, and his brother Jose is also a freshman. They're both kickers on the football team.
Yep. And
so they're helping out the soccer team out to a 9-2 record. I believe they were ranked in top 10, and I believe they're going to start a region play this week at Southeast, which won the state championship a couple years ago. So that'll be a tough matchup, and then they go to Lafayette. So 2 tough road games to open up region play for the boys. The girls are fighting hard. Their record may not be too standoutish, but they're fighting hard. They got a good win over Towns, and they'll be a tough out in region play, I'm sure.
Well, it's all about getting better each and every game, and it sounds like they're working hard to do that. So that's really good. I want to give a quick note real quick before we move on. Talking about Sanchez helping out the soccer team, him and his brother. It sounds like they're soccer players who's helping out the football team. He's going out there and setting records in his freshman year, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah. I believe they both participated in the Atlanta United Academy and all that stuff. So they're pretty good soccer players, and they're pretty good kickers too as well. So they got a future of both, it seems like.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, maybe they'll get drafted by somewhere in the NFL, because we've all seen this. This past season, the NFL needs kickers bad. So, So, all right. Well, what do you think about how's the baseball team doing this year, and how some of the standout players they've got?
Baseball's doing good. They're 9-6 overall. They're 4-2. They just won a series against Heritage, which is big time. Heritage has made a run here in the last couple of years of pitchers that have been either drafted in the majors or gone to college and starting for the likes of the University of Georgia and stuff with Cole Wilcox. Heritage is a little bit younger this year. I believe they graduated 11 seniors overall, and 8 of them were starters last year for them. So in any event, that's a good series win for Pickens. They won a series against Southeast, won a series against Heritage, and they got some team from LJ this week, I believe.
You would be speaking of the Bobcats, sir.
Yeah, that'll be a good series. It'll be a big series. Rivalry aside, it's a big series because Pickens is tied in second place in the region standings with a surprise in my eyes. Ridgeland is 4-2 also in region play. They just come off a sweep of Southeast, and they took a game from Heritage. Gilmer right now 0-3 in region play, but they can get right back into it in that series against Pickens this week. So it's a big series.
Yeah, you can throw stats and records out the window when these two teams meet. Like you said, putting the rivalry aside, but bringing it back for just a moment, it's nonstop excitement. Little attitudes, as we've heard of in the past, talk here and there, but that's a rivalry game. And being high schoolers, we hope it don't get out of hand with not just Pickens and Gilmer, but any schools. But it is going to be a great series, and I have to say, you're going to be behind one dugout, and I'm going to be behind the other. So we kind of have our back and forth with it too, and fun, of course. But I'm looking forward to it.
And you mentioned to name some players, Caswell Smith, who signed with College of Charleston as a pitcher. He's senior. He started the third game of that series against Heritage, and he was nearly perfect. He lost a no-hitter in the top of the 7th, gave up two hits, got the complete game shutout, beat them 4-0. He had what they're calling a school record. They can't find any records of it, for previous, so they're calling in a school record 14 strikeouts.
Right. That's a dominating performance.
Yeah, and he's been pitching good. Colby James has been pitching good. Brady Moore, who committed to Coastal Carolina a couple of weeks ago, he's been swinging the bat pretty well. Caswell's got 4 or 5 home runs. Chad Packus just hit his first home run on Friday, and Packus is a lineman on the football team. Of course, Brady Moore has played on the football team. So you got several multi-sport athletes out there on the baseball field contributing. And again, they got Gilmer this week, but in a couple weeks they got Northwest, and Northwest is undefeated in region play right now. They're looking pretty big. I don't want to bypass Gilmer or Rislin or anything because Pickens has got them ahead of that, but that's a big series. It'll be for them.
When you're playing as well as Pickens is right now, it's hard not to look past, Ridgeland and Gilmer, but you've got to get your focus back in and kind of get the reins back on your players as a coach and get them focused on the task at hand, which is Gilmer this week.
Oh yeah, and they got to be focused on that. They got 2 games in LJ, and it's hard to win on the road, no matter who you're playing. So right. you got to bring your A game all 3 games this series.
Yeah, well, I want to step back with you while we're on baseball. I want to step back a couple weeks. Seth Dinsmore coming off of a band concert and winning the game.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy. He showed up probably bottom of the 6th or so, and Pickens was down. They were trailing, and they were tied things up, and Seth came in. He was trying to get a bunt down, move the runner over, and Seth was like, you know what, this bunt's not working. So he just knocked the single right up the middle and won the ball game for him, and it was pretty exciting.
I'll tell you, there's not too many high school athletes can say, yeah, I played a trumpet and won a ball game and within 15 minutes of each other, basically. So that's pretty awesome. And I know, of course, I mentioned it right after that, but Seth plays 4 instruments in the band as well. Very smart young man, very talented young man on and off the field, and look to see great things. If I'm not mistaken, he's a sophomore, correct?
I believe so, yeah. His older sister, Catherine, is a senior on the golf team. Right. She's signed with West Georgia. Going to the golf for a quick second. They finally got their first match in this past week, which is crazy to think. Their season started in February, and they're finally getting matches in. Both the boys and the girls beat Fannin on Wednesday, and then on Thursday they went to Fields Ferry and faced Sonoraville and Northwest Whitfield. The boys came away with a win over both of them, and the girls finished second. So they got their season kicked off. I believe they're going to go to Canton again and face River Ridge on Thursday, and then the big tournament in my backyard, pretty much at the Bentry here in Jasper. They're welcoming Fannin and Gilmer for the King and Queen 515 tournament. And I believe you might be down here
for that one. I'm probably going to come down with you. It's going to be hard for me not to kick one of the high schoolers out of the way and take his spot now. I love me some golf. So I'll tell you what, maybe after it's over, me and you can go head to head.
Well, I got to dust off my clubs for that one there.
Well, I want you to know, as me and Dave have talked about it earlier in the previous shows, I want you to know I have a pretty good handicap. And my handicap is showing up, so you've got a very good chance of beating me.
Well, it's gonna be tough for any of these kids that haven't come up here yet and played, because this course is challenging. The greens are fast. You've got the mountainous area and just a lot of obstacles to get through. So it'll be tough for them to navigate their first time playing a course like this.
Right. Well, I'll tell you,
it should be a fun day.
The up and down holes, where you're hitting off a higher tee box down to a green, it's hard to judge the distance on those sometimes. So it will be tough. That's a challenge I do not like facing, and I'm sure these high schoolers don't either, but they're a lot better golfers than I am. Seeing some of the scores they're shooting and things like that, they'll play hard and they'll perform very well. And good luck to all three, Dragons, Gilmer, and Fannin in that tournament. That's kind of a separation of who the boss is on 515 in golf, if you want to say it that way. So good deal. Do you have any other information on Pickens, maybe track and field or tennis that you'd like to talk about while I got you?
I've tried to get some information on track. I know they were at Rome this past week. I tried to get some information there, couldn't find any, as well as tennis. I know tennis was playing. I believe tennis is going to be at Gilmer this week.
Yep.
And yeah, they're getting their seasons underway. A bunch of, I guess, same for baseball, multi-sport athletes playing tennis and track and keeping in shape. And because of course you got to be in shape for different sports, obviously. But it's nice to see them there, I guess, all school year round doing something, because you know, you could just sit at the house and be lazy like me, but they're out keeping in shape and making the most of their high school careers and seeing what they can do with it.
Right. Well, one more quick question before we go to break. We've got a couple minutes, and I don't mind running over a little if we need to. Tell me a little bit about spring football practice. Do you know when is it getting ready to start up? I know they've been in the weight room and things like that, and got a new coach in Grant Myers that's just started as I believe the defensive coordinator and the strength coach for the Dragons. How, of course, Coach Nelson replacing Coach Parker. I started to say, don't tell Coach Parker I forgot his name. He'll whip me and you both just for the fun of it. But what do you expect this year with the change? I know Nelson's been a part of the staff, but what are your thoughts on how things will go for spring practice? Is he initiating any new plans or anything that you've heard of? And just your expectations coming off the great year the Dragons had last year.
Well, as far as any new changes to offense or defense or anything, I have not heard anything. I was able to meet Coach Myers this past Tuesday. Coach Parker had him there. I believe that was his first day, or that was his first week of school, and getting to know the kids and all that stuff, and getting them set for weight training and everything for spring workouts. And sure, spring football is going to start here in a couple of weeks with practice, and I believe they got Dawson for their spring game.
Right.
But yeah, as far as any new changes, I'm not sure. I guess it's wait and see for everybody.
Well, you know, he's not wanting to let too much out too early, I'm sure. So you know,
it'll be a little bit different without Parker on the sideline.
Well, that's going to be a lot different not having Parker on the sideline. I don't quite think we're going to have the coaching addicts, you know, that I'm not. I should say that, of course, you know, BKP did the game of the week, and he put together that segment on Coach Parker and the way he dances and gets excited and all that stuff. Don't believe we're going to have that on Nelson. Nelson just seems to be a little more reserved. And I'm not going to say no more serious, because I don't believe you can get much more serious than Parker was. But
No. But I think they'll be all right. They'll be all right. They've got some kids coming back. Of course, they lost a lot.
Right.
Last year with they're losing Zach Goss, they're losing Michael Burrell. Burrell was Mr. Do It All pretty much for him, and that's a big loss. But they've got some kids that are coming back. Both tackles are coming back, and Bailey Kennedy and Aiden Sanchez, and pretty much the entire offensive line is coming back except for the center. Right. So they'll be, and of course they got CJ back.
Right.
So that'll be big. But yeah, they'll be all right. I think it'll be a competitive region this year, as far as all that, because you never know what Gilmer's going to bring, and Heritage is on the come up, and of course you always got Rizlin to worry about.
Oh yes.
And so it'll be good in the fall, but that's another day to talk about that. But yeah, we're set for another week of coverage up here, especially with baseball, and then with golf on Saturday. So it'll be a fun week, Luther.
Right, it sure will. Well, I'll tell you, talking about spring football, and that's another season that we have to wait for in the fall. But I'll tell you, and hopefully you'll agree with me on this, every team that starts spring practice comes in, some with new coaches, some with new players. Freshmen or middle schoolers that are moving up to be part of freshmen that may or may not make the varsity team, but they're all coming in with the same goal, and that's Mercedes-Benz in December. So, so they're all focused on that one main goal. Of course, you got to win it one game at a time. You're 0-0 every week, as Coach Parker said, constantly on our show last year. So it's going to be a great one. I look forward to it. Well, RJ, I really appreciate you coming on with us and giving us some Pickens County updates. And just for you, go Bobcats.
All right. But, right quick, for the NCAA tournament, go Murray State.
Oh, Murray State. Josh, you hearing this behind the glass? Okay. Well, we're going to see. We're doing a little bracket here, I believe, so we'll see who knows it. Well, RJ, really appreciate you again and look forward to seeing you at the ball games this week.
We'll see.
Again, RJ Casey, Pickens County sports reporter for Team FYN Sports. Really appreciate him joining us and giving us some good insight on the football spring practice and hopefully the upcoming season with Coach Nelson being the new coach. It's going to be a great year for Pickens County sports across the board, as we hope it is for all our coverage area. It's going to lead us to our last break of the day and get ready for our fourth segment. So, Josh, if you'll carry us on out of here, I'm going to take a breath.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Welcome back to segment number 4 of Instant Replay. Once again, it's North Georgia's only online sports show. And I had planned to go a different route to start this 4th segment, but we have a surprise phone call from the host with the most. Dave the Rave Garner is live on the phone with us playing golf, if you can believe it. Dave, how you doing today?
Well, hey, let me clarify something. I'm not playing golf. I'm just volunteering, watching other people play. It's too cold for me to be out on the course today, man. It's 38 degrees down here. It's a little Arrowhead in Jasper. It's windy, so yeah, no, I'm just helping out. It's the Pickens County Chamber of Commerce annual snowball golf tournament, and once again, it's living up to its name. So, but anyway, man, you're doing a great job with the show today. Of course, I had to be out because I committed to volunteer, but wanted to pop in and just tell you what a great job you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. While I got you, let's talk a little bit about the Atlanta United tie yesterday, draw.
A draw, yeah, of course. No, I watched the match last night, of course, in the midst of all the March Madness and the selection show and everything else going on in the world of sports. I did squeeze in the United match Sunday night. And it was just one of those, they gave up the goal. It was, no score at halftime. They come out and Philadelphia gets the quick goal within 90 seconds, and it's like, wow, here we go again. It's Cincinnati all over again. It's, here's our third match of the year, and we haven't won anything yet, really. We won the aggregate, the second leg of the aggregate against Monterey in the CONCACAF, but yet we lost overall. You kind of felt like maybe the team was coming together. Yesterday, a little bit of a letdown. I guess there's two ways to look at it. One is we did score the tying goal, before the end of regulation. Had several other attacks that could have led to something and could have very easily and probably should have, taken 3 points away from it. But you feel good being down 1-0 that they at least came back and salvaged the point. But it's a little bit disturbing because you're at home, and we're so used to what happened last year that, Philadelphia is a team that we've never lost to, and we've beaten pretty handily, the 3 times I guess we played them historically. And, to have these matches at home and to not be able to win them, I mean, you just feel like you're leaving points on the table. So hopefully they can get things rocking and rolling. They're going to have a big break now. They're only going to play one match over the next 26 days, and that's in 2 weeks against Columbus. So they've got some time to get their legs back under them a little bit. I think really Sunday it was just a matter of them being wore down.
Right. Well, I tell you, they deserve a rest. Every athlete does. I don't see how some of these pro guys and college basketball teams play like every other night. It's wear and tear on the body big time. Even these guys making all this money need to rest. So.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And like I said, we'll have a couple of guys that'll be playing internationally, that'll be overseas. But for the most part, the core of our team, I think, will be able to get their legs back under them, like I said, and hopefully they'll be able to get rocking and rolling. But anyway, it'll be interesting. Hopefully we can get going and get back to form.
Awesome. Yeah, I agree. I hope they do. Well,
yep.
I'm going to let you get back to watching golf. I really thought you would be out there killing trees today, but, since you're not, I guess watching's the next best thing.
If I was hitting, I would be killing them, that's for sure. But, no, not today. But appreciate you having me on, but I know you got more to get to and not a whole lot of time to get there. So thanks for having me on, and hopefully we'll see everyone again next week in full force.
I hope so, because I definitely miss you, and I believe our viewers do as well. So,
no problem. You're doing great, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
All right. See ya.
Wow. Great phone call from Dave. I'm glad he had some more insight on the Atlanta United. That was pretty awesome. Well, we are down to almost being over, so real quick, I want to jump over and cover some North Carolina sports. Baseball, real quickly in our last few minutes. Murphy Bulldogs defeated Hiwassee Dam last Tuesday, 17-1. This week they're at home with Hayesville on Tuesday and Friday at Swain County. Speaking of Hayesville, we're going to go to them. They are 0-2 on the early season, which is early. They've only played 2 games in the North Carolina spring season. They start later than we do. And they've had the rain issues as well. Came up short 6-2 to Swain County last week. This week, on Tuesday, they are at Murphy, as we just mentioned. And Friday, they're at home versus Robinsonville. Both 4:30 start times. Hiwassee Dam off to a slow start as well, 1-4. 14-0 loss to Swain County and 17-1. There again, as we mentioned just a moment ago, to the Murphy Bulldogs. Today they're at home versus Rossman. Tomorrow at home versus Robbinsville. And Thursday at home with Copper Basin. So busy week, good weather for it. They'll get all these games in this week. 4:30 start times on there as well. And North Carolina softball, the Lady Bulldogs beat Hiwassee Dam 8-2 last Tuesday. We'll take the field this week with Hayesville on Tuesday, Cherokee on Thursday, Both games will be at home, and Friday they'll travel to Swain County. Let me see. Josh, we've got about 4 minutes. I want to bring you in real quick and just touch on a little spring training update with the Braves. Fultonevich being on the injured list, as they're now calling it, or disabled list, as we all know. Do you know what the story is with that? What happened? And
yeah, his elbow's giving him some problems. It's not anything too major. He is most likely going to miss all of April, but he should be back shortly after that. We also are opening the season with Soroka, still dealing with shoulder issues, but he should be coming back soon. And AJ Minter is one of our closers / setup men. He's starting the season on the injured list, but he should also be coming back like fairly soon. It shouldn't be anything that lasts really long into the start of the season.
Okay, well, there's a lot of talk about Craig Kimbrell possibly coming back as a Brave. He is a free agent, and as of this morning, he was unsigned. What do you think their options are there? The reports I'm seeing says that it's not a money issue, that it's more that he wants long term. The Braves are thinking maybe 1 or 2 years. He's looking 5 or 6. What are your thoughts on that?
It does have a lot to do with the length of the contract. The big thing is if the Braves sign him or Dallas Keuchel, the starting pitcher that a lot of people are eyeing as well, they lose a pick in the draft. Now, if you're going to lose a pick in the draft for just 1 or 2 years, that's not really worth it. You want to get to me. So I think they want the shorter deal, but they want it at a price point where they feel like they're giving up that pick for a good reason.
Right.
We had our old GM, Copy. He's the one that got us in all the trouble with the international prospects, and we lost a lot of players. So draft picks are pretty important to us right now.
Right. All right, on our final note before we have to go, leadoff batter, Inciarte, Albies. What is your thought on that?
Like we were talking off the camera, early indications are that they might start the year with Acuna in leadoff because it did so well at the end of last year. Mm-hmm. A bat like that, you want to get behind some other hitters, drive those runs in. Albies, he's a switch hitter. Inciarte hits left-handed, so they're probably going to start with Inciarte hitting against right-handed pitchers, and then Albies leading off against left-handed hitting. And then Josh Donaldson is slotted in the 2-hole right now. So if things start clicking the way they can, our top 5 or 6 are not going to be easy outs at all.
Right. Well, I'll tell you, I was listening this morning to some reports, and they were saying that, of course, the Braves coming off the division champs last year are underdogs. Yeah. And, what kind of moves can they make to do that from the pitching standpoint? But you're right. It does sound like the top five hitters. Of course, I'm not sure if Swanson's back yet, but of course you've got him down there in the 7th and 8th hole. He's going to be doing well. Tyler Flowers hits the ball well. Our 8 of our 9, of course 9 being the pitcher in National League parts, could be very solid this year.
Yeah, we've got potential. The Phillies, they just always have, it seems like, clubhouse problems. It came out this morning that one of the players broke the clubhouse TV during the final week of the season last year because the players were playing too much Fortnite and not paying attention to the season, and he thought that was unprofessional. So he smashed the TV to keep them from playing while they were trying to fight for a playoff spot down the stretch. Seems like there's always something weird going on with the Phillies. Nationals got better, but again, I don't know if they're better than we are. The Mets added a lot of good pieces. Mm-hmm. There's so much change on those teams. It's going to come down to if all those guys mesh well. Because you can have all the talent in the world, but if your team doesn't work well together, you're not going to get results.
Well, I'll tell you, of course, Donaldson still trying to get back to, pre-injury form. But they were also saying this morning how much of a, not a force, but a showing he's making in the clubhouse.
Oh, like a presence?
Yeah, the presence, being a consummate leader that he's been in the past. And, we all know the Braves have a lot of jokesters on the team, and they said that he is more focused, grind, let's get at it. But, right. That mixture, they said that mixture's real good, and so far everything has been good as far as the gel. So maybe that's a sign of things to come for the Braves. We can, they can be a family in the locker room and not just teammates.
Yeah, I hope so. It's all going to depend on our pitching early on.
All righty. Well, Josh, we appreciate you on that. Of course, we'll try to catch up with you every week and get a little tidbit because we know you are Mr. Brave. So, you get some information sometimes that I can't find in my research. So we appreciate you coming on with that and helping that out.
Of course.
One last note on our way out here, just a quick update on NASCAR. Auto Club 400, Kyle Busch was your winner. Joey Logano second, Brad Keselowski third, and Kevin Harvick finished out in fourth. Guys, that's going to do it for this week's show. Look forward to having you back next week, 10 a.m., Facebook Live. Of course, you can watch this week's show, and any of our other shows in the past on demand at FYNTV.com and YouTube. Look forward to having Dave back next week. Dave, we missed you today. If you go back and watch this, missed you bad, sir. And if it happens in North Georgia, we're all over it.